desk, except for your Chromebook, your writing journal, you know, the one with the graver that we've been working on in your stations, and also, instead of doing modified daily 5, we're going to work together as a whole group so we can go in and discuss everything together. So, just go ahead and get in your correct seats. Go ahead and get your Chromebook, your journal, and your packet that you are working on for UOI. Okay? Bob, where you going, buddy? All right, hurry it up. Same way you came in. Let's get in the right seats. And go ahead and keep your Chromebooks closed. You just need your packet from UOI that you're doing on Ward. Your writing journal. Oh no, it's okay. You can go ahead and share my packet. I'm sorry? We are going to go over citations. But you just need your Chromebook, your packet, and your journal. Yes. All right. So yesterday in Modified 85 in your station, what did you guys work on? Students that were here. What did you guys do in your station? Yes, ma'am. All right, perfect, good. So some of you listed some of your sources. Some of you had to choose 2 videos, 2 pictures, and 2 book sources. Good, so if you listed those, some of you just had to do 1 source for each of those. Now, why do you think it's important to go ahead and go over conflict and war? Or do that research? Why do you think it's important? In your opinion? Okay, so like I said, it's good to get to know it. Why do you think it's important to learn about conflict?
Because history.
Good.
So history don't make the same mistakes.
Good, that's very good. I think that's probably the most important reason why we would do research and understand conflict and war. It's so we don't repeat the same mistakes and learn from those wars and conflicts.
And make the world better.
What do you think, White?
I just say make the world better place by learning the past mistakes.
Good. So we learn from our past mistakes and our history. So that's why it's important to learn war and talk about war, especially the ones that you guys have chosen. And what were you going to say, Gina? Yeah, because if we don't learn about previous wars and previous conflicts, we're doomed to repeat those mistakes. And that does happen. With many wars, if we don't learn from them or research them, some countries and some conflicts can repeat themselves. And then you can notice that with some of the wars that we'll go over and that you pick, it seems like we do repeat those mistakes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yes.
a cycle.
Yeah, it's almost like a cycle. Exactly, right? Exactly. What were you saying, Ellie?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's literally 1 and 2.
Good.
Don't some of them have like 8?
Yeah, and if you look into other wars, some of them do repeat them, even smaller wars, not just the big ones like World War I, World War II. Same thing happens in smaller wars. And you'll see that once I give my presentation, I'm going to give you guys a presentation, and it's going to look or be an example what we want you guys to do for your PowerPoint presentations. So, based on learning conflict and what you guys are doing in your packets, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick presentation of the first part of it. What are the 4 parts that we've done so far, or that you know that we've talked about in your presentations, in your PowerPoint presentations? What do we want you to go over? A timeline would be important. A timeline is important. In your packets, a timeline that you're going to put together is going to be very important because it'll go ahead and gauge the things that are going on within your ward.
I have 30 years of war.
Now that's a big one. We'll go ahead and go over because some things are. Who has the 6-day war? Who's doing the 6-day war? Okay, so those battles and those conflicts within that are there is going to be an important timeline to go over the facts that led up to that, facts that happened during that, and facts that happened after that. That'll be a good way to do that timeline. Now, when you're doing a 30-year war, or even the is it a 100-year war? There's a war that's called the 100-year war. That timeline's going to be very long, and there's a lot of details. Now, just think about it.
I just wanted to do the biggest war possible.
Wow, that'll probably be the 100-year war.
Oh,
Or...
I know. I haven't even done research, so I could shade.
Yes, yeah, and that's okay. Now, the thing is to do your research, use your sources, and maybe find out what important facts happen. What are the most important facts? You don't have to do like this little tiny battle. If that battle played a big significance within that war, then go ahead and put that in your time.
You know, like the one that sort of turned the tide.
Yes, yeah, like exactly. Something that turned the tide, that turned the war in a different direction. That would probably be an important thing that you would want to put there in your time.
But then I still didn't figure my timeline was way too long.
And that's fine, that's fine. Go ahead and pick at least like 10 important details. I would say probably 10. What?
Right, 30.
So,
Go ahead.
Miss Stacy said that we had to add, when she was still our teacher,
Mhm.
she said that we had to write every single event that
Now,
happened.
think of that. Think of that. If you're talking about World War I, World War
That's what
II,
I did.
now think about all the events and all the battles that happened there. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. What you want to do, that's why I would think about, that's a lot of battles, and especially if you're doing a 100-year war, or even a 30-year war.
It has to be handwritten. No, I
Yes,
finished it.
and what's you don't have to do all the detail in each of those battles. Now think about it. Just what we're going to do is go ahead and modify it for you. Some of it's going to be easy, like you're doing the 6-day war. No, you will. Not every single battle. What I want to do for you guys is go ahead and modify some of that work. Now think about some of the. Each of you have a different perspective. Like Pink's doing World War I. Lucas is doing World War I. Pat is as well. So there's many of you that are doing some of the same work. What you want to do is go ahead and make it your own. What do you think are the most important events that happened, that turned the war, changed the war?
You told me after the night I spent until about 11 p.m. doing the whole timeline.
I'm sorry, what was that? No, what was that? I told you that. Or Miss Stacy told you. What?
I need 3 of these pages. This
Wow,
is 2
yeah,
years.
exactly. That's
This is
good.
2 years.
That's only 2 years, and look at that, you have more than 10 things. That's why I would say probably go ahead and concentrate, use your resources, and concentrate on probably 10 most important turning points within a war. Now, you don't have to do all these like detailed things. There's one in particular important thing that happened to cause the war. What things happened within that war
You told
to
me
turn
that.
the war. Well, that's why we're going over it now. That's what you have so far is good, especially for you, Pink. You're getting advanced on that. You're getting more details. That's good. Now some of you have an easier war and there's not that much conflict or things that happen, maybe battles, but there's significant and important information that's happened. That's good. Put that in there. Now when you go ahead and go to your presentation, you can go ahead and not put all those things that happened, maybe some of the important things that you feel that were important.
Okay.
So that's perfect. Now, we'll go ahead and go over my war and you'll see some of the things that were expected of you and what you want to do to source some of the citations or sources that you use. Alright, so let's go ahead and have you guys listen and look up here.
This war, 2,248 years.
That's it. For me, I chose the Gulf War. The Gulf War here is what I chose to concentrate on. Now, the Gulf War is also called the Persian Gulf War, the first Persian Gulf War, or the first Gulf War, because of the effect of this one led to other things and that effect. So, as you see on this first page here, I have a picture. This picture that you notice, there's a name down here. That's how you can give credit to that picture. I found that picture
On Nelson?
not on Nelson, but a person that took that picture
Paul Nelson?
called Nelson. Now,
Is it his last name or first name?
it's his last name because we're talking about the APA citations, correct? The AP citations, you want to go ahead and, at the beginning of your citation, use the last name, then the abbreviation of the first name. So when you have it up here like this, your first picture, Nelson. So now I know when I go to my reference page as a teacher and I'm doing your grading and I'm looking at your presentation and I want to go ahead and look at your citation page. Your citation page should look something like this. And I see that you have that first picture and it's Nelson. I can go to your reference page, Nelson, and see how it's written out, what website or source you got it from, retrieved from this website. So I can actually go to this link, click on it, and it'll take me to your source that you use. So for example, when I go ahead and click on it, oops, what? Technology is not my friend. I'll click,
No, it doesn't work.
yes.
No,
So what I would have to do
you have to
is-
make it like a link.
Yes, there we go. So I'll go ahead and go to this page, click on it.
No, you have to click the one with the underlined one.
the
Yeah,
underline.
because you didn't make the thing a link.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
exactly. That's why technology is not my friend. So that'll be
The
an
one on the
idea
top, the
to
one on
use,
the top.
students.
Yeah, just click on the one
There. Okay, example.
because something
There you
like
go.
that,
That'll happen, so that's why it's good to go ahead and go over these sources when you go to your reference page to go ahead and do that. So it'll be easier, that way I don't have to sit there and copy that link and put it in your webpage. Now example, I used some information, I will go ahead and put up, this is a video. I will go ahead and put that video in a later slide about the war.
It's not you, it's your ad blocker.
Yeah, that's ad blocker. But I have some information that I got from here that's in my presentation. Now, back to our presentation. Now let's go back to the very beginning. Okay, so that's my first picture. Now, this picture, these are the countries that were involved in the Gulf War. Now you notice in blue, there's a lot of countries. It almost looks like a world war. But now, down here, I have probably the two most important countries that were involved in this war, which is the United States and Iraq. Now, Iraq had about 1 million soldiers and troops for this war, whereas the United States supplied almost 700,000 troops involved in the war. Right now, I do not have how many soldiers that each country lost, but the ones that were involved. That information I also got from Nelson, and you'll see the citation down there. Now this picture, did I create this picture?
No.
Exactly. Now, you can see the citation down here. Where did I get that from? I'll go ahead and go to my resources and find that in my resource page. Click on it. It's actually from Reddit. That's a username from Reddit. So I got this map from Reddit. Gave this person credit because he was the one that posted it up there. And that's how I'll use that resource. Now, what you want to do is go ahead and talk about the country information. Now, the sources that you'll have a lot of information about each country. I chose to do, like I said, the two most important countries involved in this war, the United States and Iraq. Now, when you come up here to present, I don't want you to come up here and read this whole thing. I don't expect you to read this whole thing. Take some ideas from that and present it up here. Come up here and be like, all right, these are the two most important countries that were involved in the Gulf War. The United States, which is located in North America, and Iraq, which is located in Asia. And that region of Asia is known as the Middle East. Now, at the time of this war, the leader was Saddam Hussein. For America, at the time, the leader was George H.W. Bush. Right now, the current president or leader is Donald Trump. For Iraq, the current leader is Rohad Saleh. I need to polish up on my pronunciation. Thank you. Yes. So use that as an example. Take this information, take little bits of it, put it in there, and now this information here, you'll notice that there's a source listed there. That source is actually giving credit to where I got this information. I don't know how many people are in America, but using the U.S. Census Bureau, I got that information. I was able to put that in.
List like every single detail.
Not every single detail, but the things that I don't know. There is some information that I knew. Like, I knew George W.H. Bush was the president then. 1 second. Wait. I know Donald Trump is the president now. Then I knew the past leader during that war was Saddam Hussein. Now the current leader, I did not know that. That's where I got this citation from, down here. It's actually cut off right now, but I'll go ahead and fix that. And it'll be ready when I do the actual presentation, the whole presentation. Right now we're just concentrating on country information. Okay. So that's all I wanted to show you guys. Now what, you had a question?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, go ahead.
Can we like copy and paste, but then we list the recitation?
Yeah. So that's why. I would say probably the most important thing to do first is gather all the sources that you want to use and create citations for that, which is perfect. Like, I'm glad you asked that question, because what was your assignment last class? To come up with 2 sources, 2 video sources, 2 picture sources, and maybe 2 book sources, or web articles, web pages. Did you guys find that difficult looking for that information?
Yes.
Okay, so it was difficult.
Not really difficult.
It depends on what you use and what you're looking
The
for.
YouTube video of
That's why, that's good. I'm glad some of you had difficulty, some of you found it easy. That's fine. It's going to be different. And that's okay. So, go ahead and open up your Chromebooks right now. Ooh, that's another good thing. Each word does have a different number.
774 years.
Okay.
But that's not
Is that the word roses?
the
Huh?
What word is that?